Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Allen, CEO of Seminole Gaming and Chairman of Hard Rock International for those who have never met me. To our over 50,000 employees around the world, I would like to give you an update on where we stand with the coronavirus. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for all their amazing efforts in unfortunately having to close virtually all of our locations on a global basis. We certainly recognize this was a monumental task and certainly appreciate all the efforts that took place in this very difficult decision. In addition, and even more importantly, I want to also thank everyone that is still working, protecting the assets of the Seminole Tribe of Florida, Seminole Gaming, and Hard Rock International. Many companies obviously are based here in the United States, but our particular company, having locations in 76 countries around the world, this really became a very unique challenge. We've actually been dealing with this since late January. So sincerely, we truly thank you for all your efforts. In addition, I wanted to give you an update on a few of the things we've been working on. First of all, I can 100% assure you the Hard Rock brand, the Seminole Tribe, and Seminole Gaming are in great shape. We are not in a situation where we need to refinance debt, where we need to borrow money in order to keep our businesses afloat. We certainly are working through the process of working with governments around the world, here in the state of Florida, and at the federal level in the United States, to make sure that we comply with all the different guidelines that we're receiving from the CDC. But most importantly, we're working with our bankers. All of our meetings with them have given us a strong indication that we will survive this. We're not in a situation where we're in desperate need of any financial assistance from anyone. That is actually something for those of you who have attended our town hall meetings we've talked about so many times, about the investment grade ratings, about the fact that we're conservative, about the fact that we save for a rainy day. Candidly, I've been in the industry for over 40 years, and then I've seen hurricanes, I've seen mountain lions, and I've seen bears come into the casino. I've seen many different things, but certainly this pandemic tops them all. I don't think any company could be prepared for what has catastrophically happened in such a short period of time. So all the hard work that all of us did collectively allowed us to be as prepared as we could be, but most importantly, the financial stability of the tribe and Hard Rock is 100% intact. We've also been working with our insurance providers to make sure that we take care of you as our employees and also the assets that we own. We've been working with tribal governments. We've been working with the AGA. We've been working with the federal government to see what assistance plans are available. And yesterday, led by John Eder, our Chief Financial Officer, we did submit our first application here in the United States to see if we qualify for any of the potential relief funds that are out there. It's also important to recognize that this doesn't just affect us from a business standpoint, but it also affects the over 4,000 members of the Seminole Tribe from housing and all the different governmental programs. So working with Chairman Osceola and Mr. Shore and the rest of Tribal Council to ensure that we comply and hopefully be able to obtain any benefits that are available to the members of the tribe. One of the things most people don't realize is that many of the Hard Rock locations around the world, we are a tenant. So we're also working with our landlords, and certainly where we are the landlord in many cases, we're working with our tenants to see if we can create some type of structure and relief for them as we move forward. When this particular pandemic started, we were very hopeful that this would be ended, sometime by the end of April, early May. As we look at this pandemic, it's truly staggering the impact that it's happening. And candidly, we are very concerned about when we reopen in any location. We've already done this in some of our locations in China. The ramp-up period is going to take some time. So I think it's very important for all of us to be patient as business comes back. We think we're very fortunate because our assets are spread on a global basis. So our regional base in so many of our properties, I think, is going to be beneficial to us. In closing, as I look at what's most important, certainly we want to make sure everyone is protected. But there are a few things that I think that we would like to talk about. Number one, this is a great time to try to be as helpful as you can to people in your family, to your neighbors. We always talk about love all, serve all at Hard Rock, and all is one. And if we think about the Seminole tribe and their amazing ability to be giving for so many decades, we think this is an opportunity to do as much as we can to help others. We have been doing that. I want to give a special thanks to our employees that have been working to provide daily meals to all the tribal elders at all the locations here in the state of Florida. Many of you do not realize, but there's actually 7 reservations here in the state of Florida where we're now providing meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner to our tribal elders, and frankly other necessary needs such as toilet tissue and different healthcare items. It's also important to recognize that we're working with different hospital systems, not just here in the state of Florida, but in other states. We've been working with many governors in order to provide philanthropic efforts so that we can assist those in this unbelievable time of need. Most importantly, we are committed to make over $1 million donation to different philanthropic efforts so that we can help others in need during these incredibly difficult times. As I close out my comments, you see me wearing the gloves, you see the hand sanitizer, and you see my mask. I was one of those in the beginning that was not wearing the mask, and I thought that, don't worry, I'll just push through this. I can tell you sincerely that was not a smart move. It is so important to follow the recommendations from the CDC. It's so important to keep social distancing. It is very, very important, not just for you as an individual, but for the elders, for those that are more challenged with this type of disease. It's been a difficult month, and most likely going to be another month or longer before we get through and see the rainbow that's on the other side of this very challenging mountain. But what I can tell you is that I think if we follow these guidelines, if we continue to help each other, we will get through this. The tribe's been around for as long as you can remember. Hard Rock is one of the most recognized brands in the world. And on a global basis, this is truly where our slogan, all is one, is so important. I think it's also important to have a little bit of fun. A friend of mine said that, we are fortunate because, we're now back together with families and we're having the ability to enjoy each other's time. And then another said to me, I think my children are going to drive me completely bonkers. So we're going to give you a little fun. We are going to create a contest. We're going to give a $10,000 top prize. And you'll be able to submit your 100 most favorite songs, no matter where you are in the world, back here to corporate headquarters in Florida. We will go through those lists and then we'll create a drawing process where we will have a series of winners. So think about music. Music is the only international language. Hard Rock is an international brand. Think of your 100 most favorite songs of all times. Submit them to us. In the next week or so, we'll have some contest rules out, so stay watching your email and social media. And at that point, sit down with your loved ones, with your fellow family members, and think about music and the songs that mean the most to you. And hopefully this will be a reflection in the future that you can reminisce on the songs that you think about that can be utilized in the future. In closing, for those of us who pray, and I am one that does, please, number one, say a prayer for our leaders. I sometimes become a little disappointed in the politics that are still being utilized on a daily basis by all sides of the aisle in so many different countries around the world. I'm hopeful that they will see the ability to put politics aside and make the right decision for people, no matter where they come from, no matter what party they are represented in any country around the world, to help others. This is truly a global pandemic, and we need to come together, as we say at Hard Rock, all as one. I would also like to say a prayer for the media, because they have so much influence on how we perceive this situation. And to me, it's rather startling when you can watch some channels and it seems like it's completely doom and gloom, where millions of people are going to die, and in other channels, it's a much different story. I would hope they would come together to not create fear in order to try to push a political agenda. Now is not the time to be doing this. Now is the time to give us factual information so that we can all live in sanity as we get through this next 30, 60, 90, 120 days. In closing, most importantly, please say a prayer for those who have lost loved ones. Say a prayer for those who have loved ones in the hospitals, which I do right now. I have a very close friend that's been on a ventilator now for 8 days. And candidly, when you get that call and you realize how close this is to all of us as individuals, it's very important to be able to believe in yourself, believe in our Creator, and just hope that somehow we'll be able to navigate through this as those that are challenged with this amazing disease can come through on the other side. With that, I thank you for all your efforts in the past. We look forward to be giving you updates in the near future.